Thrive and Live. Buy original. Be original. SON.
Register your products with the Standards Organization of Nigeria now or risk sanction as stakeholders examine SON's Act with special focus on how to improve the ease of doing business in Nigeria. Hello and welcome. Glad to bring you a brand new edition of your program, Standard and You. My name is Ifoma Okonkwo. Do not go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Now we take cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) don ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. If you see product wey no dey correct, call the SON office wey near you.
SON dey say
Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Are you a manufacturer or an importer and you're yet to register your products with the Standards Organization of Nigeria? Then this story will interest you. An outlet belonging to one of the major electronic manufacturers was sealed in Lagos by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. The outlet was shut because the company failed to register its product with the SON.
It was a surprise visit by officials of the Standards Organization of Nigeria to this Samsung outlet on Akin-Adeshola, Victoria Island, Lagos. The team, comprising some members of staff of the SON and the media, was led by the agency's head of product registration, Enebi Onucheyo. He told the media that the closure became necessary following unsuccessful attempts by the SON to get owners of the brand to register their products with the Standards Organization of Nigeria.
They have refused to register their product, which is part of the regulation guiding their business in Nigeria. In every nation of the world, the law of the land is supreme. There is nobody above the law, and nobody can claim ignorant of the law. The law in Nigeria says that you import anything into Nigeria, for it to have access to our market, it must be registered. Because we need to have the database and be able to attest to the quality of that product and be sure that the consumers in Nigeria will get value for their money.
According to the head of product registration, the whole idea is to help officials of SON trace products to their manufacturers. Such, he explained, will be in the interest of all.
They will come to our office to ensure they register all their products that are in our market. We want our consumers to be able to tell our consumer, this product is good for you, this product is not good for you. It is through this process of product registration which will enable us to ascertain the quality of that product to be sure that our consumers will get value for their money. That is the only thing that will allow them to sell that product in our market.
Samsung is a major manufacturer of electrical appliances such as television, refrigerator, air conditioner, and mobile phones.
the only thing we I remember as we did drive na gboah. The next time I opened my eyes, I see myself for hospital. People would say, na expire tire put me for this condition.
Hey, yeah. Tire na chemical, oh. Abeg, make you dey check your tire DOT number to sabi when it go expire. Passenger will love him life must sabi the tire DOT number, oh. New tire self, na only 4 years e get to expire, whether you use them or not. To sabi the date when it go expire, just add 4 years to the last digit of the DOT. Expire tire or tokumba tire fit cause road accident. Beware.
Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, improving life through standards.
If you just joined us, the program is Standard and You. We will continue to remove obstacles to make it easy for businesses to thrive in Nigeria. This is in line with the federal government's Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. The Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Osita Aboluma, gave this assurance at the workshop in Lagos.
It was an interactive forum which afforded participants a platform to examine the various problems affecting their businesses. The event with the theme, SON Act and the Ease of Doing Business, was the initiative of the Standards Organization of Nigeria to expose stakeholders to the agency's act with special focus on tackling barriers to doing business in Nigeria. Represented by the SON Director, Legal Services, the Director General of SON gave a historical development of the SON Act and how it has been reviewed to encourage growth of businesses, especially in the rail sector.
The SON Act of 2015 is different from the previous legislation in a number of ways. First, in terms of the number of sections, the previous act had 25 sections. On the issue of composition of the council, there is additional membership of the council. On the matters of conformity assessment program, previously there were no statutory provisions dealing with the SONCAP and MANCAP programs, but today the law has given it statutory flavor. There are also provisions dealing with infraction of those platforms, the SONCAP and MANCAP programs. If infringed, the law allows for imposition of fines and fees on that one. Product registration, previously it was a matter of policy, but now it is governed by law. On the issue of supremacy of specifications and standards established by SON, it is also clearly stated that where standards conflict, that of SON will prevail. On matters of agencies that could be involved in specification, they are not required to do so in collaboration with SON. There are sector regulators, NCC, NAFDAC, NESRA. These are sector regulators, and part of their legislations we seem to suggest that they can engage into specifications. But now, for them to do so, they have to do that in collaboration with SON as the national standard body.
While explaining some aspects of the provisions of the Act, which now gives the SON prosecutorial powers, the DG stressed that this will be of immense benefit to consumers, manufacturers, importers, and other stakeholders.
There are 10 sections in the Act dealing with legal proceedings, where you should initiate legal action, the notices required to be issued to SON, the particulars to be stated in your notice, the delivery of court processes, where they should be delivered, how they should be delivered. These are matters that were previously not contained in the Establishment Act. Now there are enough provisions in the law to cover that. Financial provisions, the budget of the organization, the funds for the organization, how the funds can be deployed, also captured by law. They were not previously contained. Issue of evasion of fees and fines, issue of compliance with directives. These provisions are important. They make the work of the organization a little bit easier to carry out. And of course, the punishment section has been enhanced to take away non-compliance as a mere cost of doing business. These provisions are important. They make the work of the organization a little bit easier to carry out.
It's not just a SON activity, it's in consultation with the ministers that would take the due diligence for specific products. Standards are fundamental to life. I would love that we go home with that. For ease of doing business, Engineer Money made effort to intimate us of the activities of SON with regard to electronic platform. Let us aim to utilize that.
He pointed out clearly that the SON will continue to ensure that only genuine businesses thrive, adding that measures have been put in place to discourage the distribution of fake and substandard products in Nigeria. In his keynote address, Barrister Ubong Akpan advised Nigerians to rise to the challenge and see themselves as enforcers of the standards by insisting on quality. He corrected the notion by some Nigerians that the SON Act is a barrier to the ease of doing business, but rather emphasized that the Act is in the best interest of all.
Once your products are licensed or registered, it's an easy process. But what we generally want to do is that we want to foist blackmail on public servants and say they refused, I brought in a container and they held it down for 5 days. When, for instance, you forgot conveniently that inside those tires, you put in electronics inside those tires, but you declared the thing as being only tires. And the tires you brought in expired 4 years ago. Things don't work that way. Ensure that you do your business. Once you meet the criteria, you do your business without interruption from anybody. You don't need to know anybody in SON to pay for your permits now. Click the thing online.
It is when we are not in compliance that we have issues with the penalties or the fines, whatever amount they are. So I would believe that we need to lay hold of the fact that the Act is revolutionary, aimed at driving compliance.
Other participants in their submissions spoke on the relevance of the Act to Nigeria's economic development.
You're still watching Standard and You. More companies are meeting required standards on their products as prescribed by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. Mojek International Limited is the latest of such companies. I witnessed the certificate presentation and brought back this report. Please take a look.
Since the introduction of the Mandatory Conformity Assessment Program (MANCAP) over a decade ago, local manufacturers have continued to take advantage of the scheme to ensure that goods manufactured locally are of acceptable standard. Apart from enhancing the production process of local industries, the scheme has impacted positively on the nation's industrial sector. The presentation of MANCAP certificate to Mojek International Limited is an indication of the SON's commitment to promoting quality.
Certification by SON is a process. The process that you go through what they do, test the product, and where there is a problem, you have to give them feedback and you work with them. The officers are trained. They work with them in order to put up a corrective action to correct the non-conforming situations. And when we have gotten up to making the organization to work through their non-conforming situations, and then the product conform, we will now certify them.
Mojek International is in the business of prepaid meter and has met the requirement of the Nigerian Industrial Standard NIS IEC 62052 to 62056 standard.
The advice is that they should work with SON whenever they come to inspect them, because they are going in there to add value. They are not just going there to look. That is why, because this organization, Mojek International, we're working with standard organization, acting to the feedbacks given to them. That's why they are here already, their product being certified. So all the other manufacturers, and we know that prepaid meter is a hot cake now. They are not only useful to the people that are consuming energy, they're also useful to those people who are going to receive the money, the value, so that the value of used energy can be paid. The prepaid meter will handle the whole situation.
MANCAP has been a standard that has been set not just by Nigeria, but as she mentioned earlier, they are partnered with several international bodies that are regulatory bodies for setting standards, especially for electrical equipment, such as the ones that Mojek produces. So to achieve this milestone today is a big step in our history and our journey in Nigeria as meter manufacturers. As she also mentioned, this has been a long time coming. Our factory managers and all can attest to several visits and several, of course, inspections that the factory, our products, and our processes have been subjected to, which Standard Organization has carried out several tests over time. as the head of mechanical mentioned earlier, it is not a certificate that was easy to come by. As she also mentioned, many companies give up in the process of, collecting this certificate, partly due to many of the standards that standard organizations subject them to. So this is a big milestone for us today, and we're deeply appreciative and thankful.
The company is one of the very few companies assembling or manufacturing digital prepaid electricity meter certified by the SON. However, the SON urges the company to maintain and improve on its processes in line with best practices in the overall interests of the general public. As part of its moral and regulatory obligation, the Standards Organization of Nigeria will continue its periodic inspection of the company's facilities and subject its products to continuous laboratory analysis to ensure that they conform to the requirements of the standards.
My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Now who can cable for my yard? A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
Standards Organization of Nigeria (SON) don ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. If you see product wey no dey correct, call the SON office wey near you.
SON dey say
Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Welcome back. As part of efforts to check the spate of building collapse in the country, the Standards Organization of Nigeria organized a sensitization workshop to expose operators to quality trends in Nigeria's block business. The objective is to ensure strict compliance to standard requirements.
These are block molders. They are critical stakeholders in the nation's construction and building materials subsector of the nation's economy. According to officials of the SON, the essence of the meeting is to expose operators to modern techniques of conducting their businesses in line with best practices. The agency wants block molders to comply with specifications of building materials.
the essence of the workshop is to enlighten them on the importance of meeting standards. We have standard for block making in this country. We have standard that has specified a requirement that every block should have, so that with this issue of collapse of building will not be occurring over and over. Though we are aware that there are several factors that lead to collapse of building, but in every building, about 50% of the material used for building are blocks. So block is an important factor.
Officials of the agency stated it clearly that the organization will continue to develop capacity to check sharp practices.
We will take corrective action. You know, in resolving issues, you take correction, then you take corrective action. Now, correction is to immediately rectify the issues why such products are bad. And then the corrective action is to put a framework in place in such a way that such issue will not occur again. So that is what we are going to do. Our essence of going is not to destroy their business, but for those who are ready to be a block making as a business in this country, they must produce to the requirement of the Nigerian industrial standard, so that any block bought from them, the public will be confident that that block will serve them. And that is the essence of the task force.
In another development, officials of the SON also met with mechanics and dealers on lubricants. The forum was tagged Quality Awareness and Effects of Substandard Lubricants on Engines and Equipment.
To have an enduring business, people should aspire for sustainability in their business. You need to embrace standard. And we want even the upcoming manufacturers to make inquiries as to what is available. If it's not here, we have access to standards worldwide and we can guide.
The whole idea is to discourage the distribution of adulterated lubricants for automobiles.
It's not enough to have standards. We want a link between our standards and the sector that should benefit from this standard. So you would observe that most of the participants in the hall are actually the various associations that use this product. So it's more of awareness creation, and ultimately they would be a major vanguard in assisting the nation to move forward in the aspect of quality lubricant.
He urged Nigerians not to patronize sellers of adulterated products. Some stakeholders bear their minds on the sensitization workshop.
Henceforth, they should be using the original engine oil for those vehicles that require the original engine oil.
If you see something unwholesome, come to Sun. Go to any of our state offices and make your complaints, and it will be well addressed. When you have an issue, you call our toll-free line. One of them is very easy to memorize, 080-022-55766 and 070-5699-0099. We have customer care people that are there to receive your call 24 hours a day. So your problem will be adequately addressed to you.
It's still Standard and You, brought to you by the Standards Organization of Nigeria. It's feedback time, that time which we get to treat all your messages. And Alimot Osifo is standing by. Alimot, it's good to see you.
Hello, Ifoma. Nice to see you too. Welcome to the feedback segment of the program, where we treat your messages. But that will be after this break. Stay with us. Hello and welcome once again to the feedback segment of the program. I am pleased to tell you that we now have messages coming in. We have a message from Mr. Steph. He wrote to us from Facebook and it says, "Nice program. It is very educative. You are doing a great work." Thank you so much, Mr. Steph. We appreciate. Please next time include your full name and location. Another message here from Gabriel Tehile Ishiba. Gabriel says, "I got information on car tire." Thank you so much, Gabriel. We are glad you did, and we hope to give you more information on the products on the program. Please keep watching. And here is a message from David. His question is, how will I register my products with SON? It's simple, David. All you need to do is visit our website on www.son.gov.ng or any of SON's offices across Nigeria. I would like to thank those of you who sent us messages. Please keep them coming and always remember to include your full name and location. We are here to serve you and ensure you get value for your money. So, don't just watch. Make that move now. You can call us or write us on the number 0909-072-0144. You can also follow us on any of our social media platforms. You can reach us on Facebook at Standard and You, or you reach us on Instagram and Twitter at standardandyou_. You can also send us a mail to the address thestandardandyou@gmail.com. Let's do this again, same time, same station on the program. Bye for now.